So you need something to brace against when you're removing the rotor. As you begin to crank down, the rotor's going to want to spin. So go ahead and put a couple lug nuts on, put them down part way, make sure to leave enough room for the rotor to back off, and then you can go ahead and crank away at the bolts. And after just a few turns, the rotor will pop loose. Alright, so the right rear rotor has been taken off. I've removed the rubber plug from this hole, and using a flat bladed screwdriver came in through the hole. That probably would have been this hole on the hub right here. Come through to the back side. I hope this will focus. See if I can get it to focus right there. So as you can see, right here, there's no gap. I have pushed this all the way down. It won't go down anymore. That brings the pads together, makes it easier to remove the rotor. When we're done, of course, we're going to take it and we're going to rotate this up and let that gap grow there. It's hard to do when the rotor is on here, believe me, absolutely, I know. It is hard to do. But now I'm showing you now, as you push it up, this gap over here begins to grow. So anyway, you want to bring this all the way down and close it. It's hard to get it to focus and do this at the same time. Bring it all the way down, bring the pads as close as you can together until it's all the way together. There's no gap left here anymore. You can't see it from the outside, but when you push this down, it stops. There's no more left. Now this gap is completely closed and your e-brake pads are totally together. You get 2 bolts from the hardware store. These are size 8, pitch 1.25. Put those on each side. A little turn on each side with the socket wrench. Obviously, the bracket is already taken off and the caliper has already been taken off as well. In order to do that, I had to loosen this bolt, which, well, that was a real bugger to get off. But I finally managed to get that loose after bending the bracket all over the place. I had to backstop it with some vice grips to hold it in place. And so that's just laying there on the ground. There's no stress on it perfectly. It's the right height. So now I'm going to attempt, now that we've got the rotor off, I'm going to attempt to take these brakes off. All I can say is good luck to me. And this looks like this is probably going to be it. Oh. So the idea is to take this and twist it, and the pin will slip through once you turn it 90 degrees. The pin comes out the other side, so this is going to be a two-handed job. So you've got 2 of these to take off, and then using a pair of needle nose pliers, you see this kind of thing with the drum brakes all the time. You take these off using a pair of needle nose pliers, take those 2 pieces off, take the whole assembly apart, clean it, grease it, and put it back together. You're going to want to put just a little bit of brake grease on these contact points where the pad touches the back plate of the rotor. Holy cow! Well, that was an annoyance. Man. Okay. So both of my springs up top are in place. Got the spring here on the cross support on the side like I found it. These were an absolute supreme annoyance to reinstall. Oh my gosh. The other side, if I can do it at all, I'm going to clean the system in place. I mean, that was just such an absolute pain. You know, each side was a good 10 minutes of fiddling around to get it in there. So now I can put the system back together and readjust this, give my adjustment hole until it doesn't touch. Then I'll back it off, I don't know, maybe a half a turn, something like that, and we'll see how the e-brake on the inside does. Shoot, what a PETA that was.